All right, so I'm going to start. It's on page 885. It's guided practice. I'm going to do number 3. So we have angle A is 122 degrees, side A is 18, and side B is 12. So this one's nice. This uses all the information that I was given in the notes for how to solve it. So first thing I'm looking at, I've got 2 sides and I've got an angle, so I've got a side-side angle case. So what's the next thing I'm looking for? Once you decide which situation we're dealing with, what's the next thing I look at? What is this? What is this? Okay, I want to look, is it obtuse or acute? That's the very first thing I want to look at once I know the situation I'm dealing with. Okay, so it is obtuse. Okay, so it's good to make a note of that while you're getting used to them. So then I want to look at this scenario. So I've got A is 18, B is 12. So I'm coming up here and I'm looking at A compared to B. So A is greater than B. Okay, so A is greater than B. So I have one triangle. So that way I know up front what am I dealing with. Okay, so this one, set up a triangle here. And it doesn't matter whichever way you like to draw it however you want. So A, well, I say that it has to be drawn a certain way based on what we have, but for this one it won't matter that much because it's obtuse. So A is there. So the angle that you're given has to be here, and then the side that you have that's not the one that matches this angle has to be here, which means that angle has to be here because we know that they have to be opposite, right? We remember that from geometry. Angle and side has to be opposite. So this will be side C. This is going to be side A. Okay? So it doesn't matter. Ignore what I said. So I already know this is 122, and it's very rarely going to be proportionate. Don't worry about that. This is 12. A is 18. So I'm going to set up over here. I'm always going to set this up like this because it makes it easier to see everything and much easier to grade as well. So got angle A, side B. So I'm going to look to find other pieces of information. So right now I don't have any information about C. So the only thing I can find is angle B. So I'm going to use sine of B over side B, which is 12, is equal to the sine of 122 over 18. So multiply by 12. So sine of B is equal to 12 sine of 122 over 18. Now I have to take the inverse of sine, okay, to get that angle B. So B is going to be equal to the inverse sine of 12 sine of 122 over 18. So you can put this all in as one thing if you want, or you can work piece by piece. Again, make sure you're in degree mode. And that comes out to be 34.4, so I'm just going to call it 34. So 34 degrees. So I now have 2 angles, 2 sides. I still don't have anything about C. So what could I possibly go about finding now?
Oh, 122 plus
Yep, so I'm going to find angle C. So I can do 180 minus 122 minus 34. And that's going to be 24. So angle C is 24 degrees. So now I need side C. But again, I would use all the pieces of information that I started with. Okay, so I'm going to use the information from A because B has a piece that I found. Okay, so it's not wrong if you do that, but if you happen to have done math wrong, let's say your calculator's in the wrong mode, something weird, that's going to throw that part off, which if your calculator's in the wrong mode, it's going to make a lot of the other things wrong. But at least you would have the process right for it and not, you know. So C over the sine of 24 equals 18 over the sine of 122. Multiplied by the sine of 24, so C equals 18 sine of 24 over the sine of 122. Which is 8.6, so we're just going to call that 9. So C is equal to 9. And so then that would be your triangle solved out. All right, still in the guided practice. Let's look at number 5. A is 50 degrees. Side A is 2.8. Side B is 4. Now, if they give you a side that already has like a decimal in it, don't go round it. Okay, just leave it as it is. But anything that you find, you can round. So, what's the first thing I'm checking? Okay, so I have side angle. So, is it acute or obtuse?
Acute.
It is acute. Okay, so I have 4 possible scenarios that I'm working with. Okay, I would check before you start finding H. I would see is A greater than or equal to B. Well, 2.8 is not greater than or equal to 4. So I'm going to find H. So this is acute. H is going to be equal to B, so 4 sine of 50. Which is, now, I'm going to tell you on H, go to one more decimal place than the max that you already have. So in this case, since I had 1 there, I'm actually going to go out to 2 here. So it's going to be 3.06. Okay, and you'll see why there's one problem that we'll do as an example that you'll see why we have to do it that way. But I'm looking for H compared to A and B. Okay, so I want to see which scenario I'm dealing with. So I know I've got A is less than B, so let's see if that's relevant. A is less than B, but H was not less than A. So I'm looking, is H equal to A or is H greater than A? So H is 3.06, A is 2.8. So H is greater than A. So that means no triangle. And you would be done at that point once you've shown that. Now, I tell you to go out to one more decimal place because sometimes we have this scenario where they're equal, okay? And so there's been times before where it'll say like A is 2.8 or let's say, yeah, we'll say A is 2.8 like that. But when I find H comes out to be like 2.82, okay? Those are not equal. Okay, that changes what that is. 2.82 is bigger than 2.8. So that's why I say go out to one more decimal place than whatever. So if you have all whole numbers, go to one decimal place. If you have one decimal place, go to two. So that way you can make sure that you get the stuff right, because I'd hate for you to miss a whole problem off of rounding when you shouldn't round. So basically don't round H, round everything else is what I would say to do. All right, getting into the actual problems. State the case, so angle, angle, side, or side, angle applicable to the given measurements, then decide whether the measurements determine one, two, or no triangles. So, these ones, I just want you to tell how many triangles there are, so you're not actually solving them. So, number 4, let's do this, it's actually from the homework now. A is 40 degrees, C is 75 degrees, side C is 20. So, which scenario am I dealing with here? Angle, angle, side. Okay, and if you don't see it right away, you can draw it like this. So I've got angle A, angle C, side C, and so that would be angle, angle, side is where that's coming from. So in angle, angle, side, how many triangles do I have? 1, always 1. Six. Angle A is 37 degrees. Side A is 8. Side B is 14. What situation am I dealing with here? Side, side, angle. So I've got angle A, side B here. So side, side, angle. So now what am I checking? Okay, it's acute. So what's the next thing I'm looking for? Okay, so I'm looking to A compared to B. So if A is greater than or equal to B, I've got one triangle. A is less than B, so I need to find H. So H is equal to 14 sine of 8. Nope, sine of 37, not 8. So 14 sine of 37 is, I'm going to go out to one more decimal place. So that's going to be 8.4. Okay, so you see on that one why it's relevant. Okay, 8 and 8.4. If I rounded, they would both be 8. So A compared to H. If H is greater than A, H is equal to A, or H is less than A. So which scenario do I have? No triangle, because H is greater than A. H is greater than A, so no triangle. Let's see, 8. Angle A is 149, side A is 7, side B is 10. So which scenario am I dealing with here? Side, side, angle. So I've got side A, side B, angle A. What am I looking at next? It's obtuse. So I need A compared to B. A is less than B. So that means no triangle. All right, one more. 10. B is 70 degrees. Side B is 85, side C is 88. Okay, side angle, and it's acute. So now I'm going to draw this triangle over here with the updated information. So this is different information than we've had in all the other side angle ones so far, okay? So I saw if angle B is here, it's always going to be that angle. Side B is always going to be opposite. Side C is going to go over here. So now, what's the next thing I should be looking at? Okay, so side B goes with the given angle, so that's B is gonna be A in my scenario in my chart, and C is gonna be B. Okay, so I need, is B greater than A? Nope, is B greater than C? Okay, it's less than, so I need to find H now. So H is equal to, it's the side that doesn't have the angle, so 88 sine of 70. Which is 82.7. Okay, so now I need to look at H compared to B. Okay, so 82.7 and 85. So H, oh, too far. So H is less than B, right? And B is less than C. So what scenario do I have? Two triangles. So I've got H is less than B is less than C. So I have two triangles. And that's when you are happy that we didn't have to actually solve the two triangles. That would be when that would occur. All right, we're going to stop there for today because we would not be able to solve another triangle with the time that we have left. So we'll start out tomorrow with ones where they draw the triangle for you, and so then you're just finding the missing pieces. And then we'll go into ones where they give you the stuff, they don't draw it for you, and we have to go from there. So.